Hey, you ready?
Yes, parenting, the delusion that we're in control, especially with diabetes.
This is episode 15. Welcome back. Today we're talking about something every parent knows deep in their soul. We have absolutely no idea what we're doing.
There's no handbook, no troubleshooting guide, no if your child does this, press reset.
We're all just winging it. And some of us are flying with one wing, no fuel, and a toddler screaming in the overhead compartment.
Speak for yourself. I've been in complete control since 1988.
Sure, you have, sweetheart.
Parenting without a manual. There are parenting books, but let's be honest, no kids are alike. What works for one child doesn't work for another. What works for on Monday doesn't work on Tuesday. And what works for your friend's kid will absolutely not work for yours. The only thing we truly have is the delusion that we're in control.
I lost control the day Madison figured out how to climb furniture. That was the end of my reign.
Now take all that chaos and add disabilities mild, moderate, profound mental, physical, or both. Suddenly, the winging it becomes winging it with turbulence.
Doctors and nurses go to med school and maybe get a paragraph or two on Down syndrome, a chapter if we're lucky.
This doesn't make them experts, does it? Just like having a child doesn't make us experts.
So the best we can hope for is to listen to one another, work together, and try to keep our kids as healthy as possible.
And try not to lose our minds in the process. The prenatal test conversation. Some parents get a prenatal test that shows possibility Down syndrome, and suddenly they're facing with a decision no parent should ever have to make.
I didn't take the test because I didn't even know I was pregnant until 5 months in. Honestly, I'm thankful. I might have made the wrong decision, and Richard and I cannot imagine our lives without Madison.
Even when she's the reason we need Tylenol.
Madison's early medical adventures.
At 18 months old, Madison was hospitalized with asthma, pneumonia, and stridor.
Stridor.
Stridor?
Stridor.
Stridor. I'm sorry. She was uninsurable in 1988. The bill was over $30,000. Medicare finally approved her with a share of costs of $2,000 a month to prevent future hospitalizations. Her doctor prescribed a nebulizer, which cost $200. Medicare said no.
It is Medi-Cal. We were
Medi-Cal.
in California at the time, so it was
Okay.
Medi-Cal.
Okay.
So I filed an appeal. If you'd prefer, we take her to the hospital each time for $30,000 instead of using a $200 nebulizer. We can do that. Shockingly, Madison got her nebulizer.
Government math is my favorite math. It's like watching someone try to solve a puzzle with the wrong pieces.
When Madison was born, 60 Minutes aired an episode about plastic surgery for people with Down syndrome. My sister called immediately. Joanne, you need to watch this. And just like that, we were thrown into another round of the what if game.
Because apparently parenting wasn't stressful enough. Now we're supposed to consider plastic surgery for a baby.
Right, so we did what any terrified brand new parents would do. We made an appointment with a plastic surgeon. Madison was maybe a year old, still tiny, still perfect, still giving us that I have no idea what you two are doing look. We walked into the surgeon's office and explained the 60 Minutes episode.
He listens so kindly, so patiently. Honestly, he's one of the good ones. Rare, like spotting a unicorn in the medical field.
He looked at baby Madison, then he looked at us. Two exhausted, worried parents who would have climbed Mount Everest barefoot if someone told us it would make her life easier.
Then he asked one simple question: what would you change?
We looked at Madison, we looked at each other, we looked back at the doctor, and with the biggest smiles,
Absolutely
absolutely
nothing.
nothing.
Not a thing, not a hair, not a freckle, not a single chromosome.
The doctor laughed. We laughed. Baby Madison probably laughed because she thought we were all ridiculous. We thanked him for not trying to talk us into fixing her, and we left with our precious, beautiful baby exactly as she was meant to be.
Next up, the ENT clinic. They wanted to put tubes in her ears. Her ears were so tiny they had to order special tubing.
We cared for a little boy who had tubes placed. He could hear better at first. Then scar tissue formed, and his speech became harder to understand. So we opted out. Madison's hearing is just fine.
Sometimes no is the best medical decision you'll ever make.
The leg surgery recommendation. Madison was about 3 before she could walk. Then a doctor told us her legs were not straight and wanted to reset them.
Braces, surgery, relearning to walk, the whole 9 yards.
The older doctor left the room. A younger doctor came in, looked at her legs, and said, "They're not crooked. I don't recommend surgery. You should get a second opinion." I believe we just did.
That young doctor saved us from a nightmare and probably saved Madison from learning to walk 3 separate times.
Constipation.
Here we
We
go.
tried prescription drugs. Nope. Mineral oil. It came out of her scalp. Oily hair. No poop. Fleet enemas. Warnings everywhere, but we had no other options at the time. This could have been related to her hypothyroidism.
Parenting is glamorous. Just ask us about the mineral oil hair situation, or size, shape, and color.
At age 3, Madison had a grand mal seizure after a vaccine. Future vaccines left out the P from the DTP.
Then we were referred to a neurologist, a wonderful doctor. He looked at her whole picture: Down syndrome, hyperthyroidism, her overall health. He said seizure medication would make her sluggish and fatigued since she wasn't having multiple seizures. He recommended wait and see approach.
He treated her like a whole person, not a checklist.
Hmm. I think we need more doctors like him.
Severe constipation sent us back to the ER. The attending physician told me, "Give her grapes. It makes my daughter go."
Ah, yes, the famous atomic grapes, grown only in magical gardens where logic goes to die.
I told him, "I don't know where you buy these nuclear grapes, but Madison is on prescription meds and enemas, and none of it is working." He sent us home with Go Lightly, expecting her to drink it.
If you ever smelled Go Light, you know the name is a lie.
I contacted an attorney. He said, "Go back. If they ask you to leave, refuse, then call me." I wasn't bold yet, but my sister was. The hospital asked us to leave. My sister said, "No."
They threatened to call the police then, didn't they?
Yes. She said, "Great. We'll call our attorney." Then a nurse checked Madison's blood sugars. They were low. She gave her a snack, then rechecked her. Her numbers were plummeting.
Now Madison was in crisis mode.
No doctor would take her. She was sent by ambulance to a trauma 4 hospital. The attorney called and explained we couldn't sue unless she lost an organ, a limb, or died. I said, "Well, then I hope I never talk to you again."
Go Lightly was administered through a tube in her nose. They said she'd go in a couple of hours. It took days parenting where time slows down, stress speeds up, and go lightly goes well. Not lightly.
Surgeries that went right. In 2011, Madison had lymph nodes removed and a tonsillectomy. She did great.
See, sometimes things actually go right.
Madison did great at the dentist. Her sister cried, but the dentist said he would see her sister and not Madison.
Hmm. He was afraid of anesthesia.
So Madison had to go to a dental school where they always put her under. Every time I had to sign a waiver that said anesthesia could cause death.
Hmm. Years later, we found a dentist who understood her high pain tolerance and treated her without anesthesia. Sometimes the problem isn't the child, it's the professional.
Hidradenitis suppurativa medication. Madison was prescribed medication that caused hives. The pamphlet listed hives as a side effect.
Hmm. The dermatologist said it wasn't from the medication.
I said, "So you want me to keep giving it to her?"
Hmm. Silence.
Then, "No, discontinue it." Yeah, that's what I thought. Water therapy and bleach baths worked with no side effects.
Imagine that. The pamphlet was right. The dermatologist, not so much.
In 1999, Madison had a grand mal seizure in her sleep. We all ran to her room. Richard went in, and I ran to call 911. Her vitals were normal until her blood sugar dropped to 30 in the ambulance.
They gave her what, glucagon. She was allergic. She vomited for 5 hours.
The doctor said the seizure could have been from too much insulin. That made me sick, thinking I could have done this to her.
Hmm. The EEG confirms seizure activity, not from insulin. They put her on Tegretol, mild dose. Within a week, she had a rash. Remember?
Medication discontinued, no seizure treatment.
And the specialist parade begins.
Madison had a sleep study.
Hmm. The key question: does she snore?
We went to the specialist. Everyone in the lobby had a trach.
He said Madison needed a trach. Uh huh.
My first thought was, will she be able to swim? We saw another specialist a month later. I asked for a sleep apnea machine.
She said, of course. Then she checked the file and came back slowly. Madison doesn't need or doesn't warrant a sleep apnea machine based on the sleep study they did.
So, why was the other doctor planning a trach? I remembered the lobby. Everyone had a trach. I thought I was in a horror film. When we returned the follow up, his name was no longer on the board.
Probably not on any board in California.
That's right. Constipation again. A GI doctor suggested a new surgery. Insert tubing above the belly button to flush medication through. An above ground enema.
Oh, yeah, the surgery is done. Script was written on that one.
But no pharmacies carried the supplies. The surgeon said, "Oh, you can just pull it out."
What?
Richard came home because I wasn't doing that. I told him. He went in and removed the tubing.
Now, there's something you don't see every day on the honey to do list. Sometimes you just have to just do it yourself.
In 2006, we moved to Indiana. Madison saw a country doctor. She began strange behaviors, stacking movies, moving her TV, opening and closing doors, walking outside without clothes. The doctor watched her as I talked. He said, "I'm admitting her to the hospital."
In California, she'd have to stop breathing to get admitted.
3 days of testing, nothing. Then a HIDA scan. Her gallbladder was a tiny clump. Within a week, it was removed.
One day Madison couldn't get out of bed, extreme pain. She once walked on a broken leg without flinching.
White plaque across her stomach, diagnosed with psoriatic arthritis. We struggled to get a hospital bed. Finally found a supplier who knew how to fill out paperwork.
Prednisone was prescribed. Her blood sugar skyrocketed. Even on a low dose, we stopped it. Effects lasted over a month.
Menstrual cramps worsened her blood sugars and her hydrogenized suppurativa. A total hysterectomy was performed. A doctor said some people might find it offensive to deprive her of children. I was offended that I was being asked to make medical decisions based on what others think. It was medically necessary. That's all that matters.
Months later, impaction again. The GI doctor had her swallow little rings to track the digestion. The answer to decades of constipation, her intestines were paralyzed.
No grape, atomic or otherwise, would have helped. A surgeon removed the paralyzed intestines and reconnected without a colostomy bag. He also removed an excessively large, long colon. This was called a subtotal colectomy.
And that's, folks, is why we don't trust atomic grapes.
If you or a loved one has changed in mental or physical status, ask, did we start a new medication? Any new foods or drinks? New shampoo, laundry soap, lotion, a new pet? Any listed side effects?
Madison's allergy list is longer than her medication list. If we give her everything each specialist prescribed, she'd be on over 13 medications.
She's only on her insulin pump and thyroid medication. Finding a doctor who listens, who learns, and who works with us. That's the most important job we have as parents.
And sometimes the strongest medical tool you have is stubbornness.
If our story helps even one parent feel less alone, then this episode was worth it.
Like, subscribe, and share with somebody who needs this today. Now, if someone can help me off the ledge. Ta-da!
I held my mom's hand, and together side by side we walked to kindergarten with our heads held high. You see, no one expected me to learn, but here I am, now it's my turn. Mom and I sat down in those small little chairs. The room got so quiet and people began to stare. I guess it has to do with what Mom and Doc talked about. He said Down syndrome, then the words faded out. My mommy and I didn't let that bother us. My sister and I get to ride the big bus. I got a kiss from Debbie, a neighbor of mine. She came to my class to wish me good luck. The people once staring began to cheer up. My mommy and me sat on the floor. A couple of times I ran through the door. We colored and pasted with other moms and dads. Sarah was alone and feeling real sad. And when we all went out to play, they learned more about me on that day. Some watched me, others looked from the side, and up I went that great big slide. I didn't fall or cry in fear, but down, down I came on my rear. Some were amazed, I do suppose, that I didn't land on my little nose. But I can run and jump and see, I can count and say my ABCs. It's not as easy for me as you, but I'm gonna try to do it too. Then we all went out to lunch. I love kindergarten a whole kindergarten, a whole